You know, you wish
What was
you
that?
recorded
Do that again? We're live, baby. Welcome back, everybody. This is episode number 23. As always, I got my co-host with me, Roger, also known as AWOL. And
What's up, guys?
We're gonna touch on some subjects that we're not well too versed in. That sounded weird, but you guys have been asking for it, so we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
It's also very interesting. I love watching shows about the
Me?
things we're gonna talk about.
You love watching the Common podcast, right?
Yeah, that's one of them. Especially when you let other people talk. I love that part.
That's good. That's what the podcast is for. Not just for me to be talking. Those are my favorite.
Not that I don't like you talking. Is that I know exactly what you're gonna say because I know you so well that I'm like he's gonna say this that and I and you got to keep in mind I call you every day. And we have a mini podcast while I'm driving home.
Every day, right? I tell everybody that, bro. You and I have these little interventions of conversations every single day. Yeah. And it's like people only see this once a week, but we literally have super introspective conversations every day.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I agree with you though. Like the podcasts that I talk the least are always my favorite because if I'm just talking about the things that I know, I'm just reinforcing it. I want to learn some new stuff. And that's like the beauty of having, and I see that where you're coming from because we talk every day. You want to hear somebody else, you know, someone else's POV.
Yeah. You know who I miss?
Dustin?
I miss your old co-host, bro.
No. You know what's funny?
He gave you such a feminine point of view that you kind of need that in your podcast.
Yeah, dude, I really need a girl guest, like a reoccurring girl guest on the show. Because the one I have right now that's gonna hop on, she just can't keep up. But anyways, yeah, I've been wanting a female on my podcast. But yeah.
You should have your wife. I think you have to convince her, man. But I also feel like it's something that the viewer should earn, right? Because it's such a such a burden for her to do because she's not wanting to go there on purpose. So it's something that you should get your viewers to comment and ask for it and earn it. Because I'm sure lots of people want to see that, especially in your circle.
Even the like some of the clips that I post that might come off as very sexist. Like a lot of people in the DMs and on TikTok, they'll say like, "Oh, the way you talk about females is so degrading. What does your wife feel about this?"
Yeah.
Like all this stuff. And it's funny because I always reply the same thing. It's like she totally agrees with me, and they don't believe me, but it's true. Like that's we think for the most part we share an ideology, and people can't come into terms with that. But it's whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're already 3 minutes in and we haven't even said the would you rather, but this week's would you rather comes from Estevan. He says, would you rather be a sewage diver and your oxygen tank is replaced with crispy farts to breathe, or take a mushroom slap to the mouth by a mandingo and it has queso fresco on it?
What's mandingo?
Honestly, I don't know. Let me Google that. I mean, I kind of have an idea, right? But I wouldn't say for sure I know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I'm meaning a member of a people of Western Africa in or near the upper. I'm not gonna say that word. Valley. So Mandingo's a black guy, I guess, right? Referring to one's penis, usually large in size.
Really?
So it's like a big ass dick, basically.
Where'd you see that?
It's a slang term.
Wow.
Yeah, so I guess
Mandingo
means a big ass cock.
What are you going with? I already have my answer. I already know what I want.
Yeah, so Esteban and I were actually talking about, he asked me this in person, and one thing that a lot of people don't realize is how dangerous it is to be a sewer diver or a diver in general, because if there's I believe it's a leak. Any type of leak could cause your death. Like
Yeah.
it's super dangerous job. So um I don't know. What would you pick?
I already know what you're gonna pick, but I'm going with the pee mushroom slap.
With queso
As long
fresco on it?
as long as it doesn't uh it get inserted into me in any holes orally, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
As long as if it's a slap, it's fine. You know, bro. Wait, so what is the diver like? They're diving in. They're actually diving in poop.
I believe so. I mean, I don't know,
That's a
right?
real thing. I thought it was like, he was making that up.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a thing, right? Because someone has to go down there and repair shit, and so I'm sure it's a real thing. It has to be, right?
Yeah, not thinking about it. Nah, I'm getting pee slap, bro.
You're going with the dick slap?
I'm going with dick slap.
I don't know what I'm going with. I think.
Well, imagine if you die, and you're like, how did he die?
Well, all right. I'm gonna go with the sewage diver, just because at least you can't call me gay. You know.
That's it, bro. Clip that right there, and that's like
That's what.
you're gonna get canceled, bro.
Why?
That's so homophobic right there.
No, I mean, I don't think it's homophobic. I just don't want to be called something I'm not.
Listen, you just said basically that I'd rather die in doo doo than to be called gay.
Death isn't for sure, right? But I mean, yeah. I rather go into a sewer and get someone fart in my air line than to Nah, bro, I can't take that. I'll be bullied for the rest of my life. Nah, shut the fuck up, cause that one time you got slapped by that big ass cock. Like, nah, bro, I can't do that. Hell nah.
That's beta energy right there. I'll take it.
You take the cock?
I'll take
That's
it.
alpha. You know you're alpha when you're willing to take a cock, right?
The alpha is just spewing out of me right now.
All right. Well, anyways, this podcast is gonna take a interesting turn, because we're gonna go from talking about dicks and sewage to a conspiracy theory that is well known, and it's about the moon landing. So, I was looking into this, and a lot of people believe the moon landing was fake.
Yeah.
For many reasons, but the main ones are things like, first of all, a lot of people believe we didn't have the technology to go there, right? So a scientist had said once that the computer power they used to put people on the moon was equivalent to a calculator. So it's like, how, right?
Yeah, bro. Like, here's my thing. Here's my theory on that. I think that's probably the most powerful theory of all of them, because how can we get to the moon? Well, what year was it?
Oh, don't ask me that. I don't know.
Okay, it was over 2 decades ago, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even 3. Yeah, it was like 3, maybe
Like
even 4 decades ago.
50 plus years, I think.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. And we haven't been back since.
Yeah.
How?
Well, that might be for a lot of reasons, right? We don't really have a reason to go there anymore. The reason we went there was to kind of show. Was it Russia? Yeah, right. It was like the whole space war thing, like, oh, we're better than you guys, type of thing.
I don't believe that. I don't buy that, bro. There's so many things that we don't need to get good at, but people get good at anyways. There's always going to be enthusiasts to something. So something catches people's attention, right? So like, for some people, they might want to go to the moon. Like, that's their dream. They want to be astronauts. It might not be for us, right? But yeah, I don't believe that. I think that I know one big one on the whole Elon Musk documentary on Netflix was money. That like, after one of the ships crashed or whatever,
Rockets,
or like the failed launch. The government didn't want to put any more money on it because it was way too expensive, and it was like, okay, well, what are we gonna get out of going to the moon? Like, what's the payback?
Yeah, so that's probably why we went back, is because of the cost, right? And the dangers of it would be my guess. But
Yeah.
for sure now we have the technology to do it. I mean, Elon launched a fucking Tesla into space just for fun, so we could for sure do it now. But so yeah, that's one of them, right? That's kind of the main one for me. The other one is if you look at the pictures that they have on the moon when they plant the flag into the
Hmm.
moon, it looks like the flag is being blown by the wind, but there's no
Yeah.
wind in outer space.
Yeah.
So we were like, how the fuck? How does the flag look like it's flapping in the wind? And
Yep.
you're in, and so one explanation for that was that they did that on purpose with like rods or something, in order to make the picture look better.
But it still looks okay. Like I would buy that okay, so let me explain it. So they put a rod, basically how a normal rod would be holding a flag, but since it doesn't have any gravity, it would fall down. So they put a separate rod, like in an L fashion, to keep it up. But the flag still looks like it's waving.
Yeah, it's
Like, how
flapping.
does that? You know what I mean? Like it's flapping. So that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me either. I don't know. I'm sure there's someone smart out there that's like, well, it's because of this, But
Yeah,
for
I don't know
me,
about that. That one is kind of like what? Like
yeah, and then the shadows as well, right? Because there's only one source of light out in
mhm.
outer space, which is the sun. They noticed inconsistencies in the way that the shadows are in pictures, right? Like they'll be pointing this way and that way, and and there was an explanation for that, but still people don't buy it, right? It's
Yeah, like
too many little things that add up that are just like, oh, this just looks fishy all around.
yeah, like
So
it almost looks like they had a ring light over here and another ring light over here.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
just
Well, what do you think?
fighting.
Do you believe we land on the moon? We
Oh,
landed on the
that's a
moon.
tough question, bro. Dude, shoot, I don't know, dude. I honestly don't know.
So this is what some people believe. Some people believe we did land on the
Mhm.
moon, but those the evidence we have of it is fake. So a lot of people think
I buy that.
like we did go and we did land on the moon, but
The pictures are taken in studio.
yeah,
Uh,
they basically didn't make it back home is what a lot of people think, and like the pictures meaning, right, because of all
oh,
the radiation and shit like that. Yeah, so that was another theory, is like, how did you guys get all this pictures back? Because it should have been affected by radiation and all types of gravitational fields. So
yeah,
that's what a lot of people are questioning. And so, yeah, some people think we did go. We just had to fake the evidence in order to
yeah.
present it. Um,
I buy that, bro. Honestly, I do buy that.
I think we went. I think we went. But I don't know. It still looks fishy. Who knows if that shit's all real,
You know what's interesting to me is like, why don't we have? Because there has to be like astrophysicists that are or like enthusiasts in that field that like are interested in that. Why don't we have like live stream camera? Because there's a lot of drones going out there, right? Apparently, supposedly,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? Why don't we have like live streams where we can see the space or see the moon?
They did have some at some point. They're just not 24 hours. Like they'll have NASA does it every now and then. Tesla was doing it. Tesla did it from the car that they launched in space. So it was like a
Mm.
live stream, and that shit just floating. And it's just nothing out there. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool. You could watch videos on it.
Yeah, see, that's interesting to me. You know, to just I would like to go to space before I die. Would you?
Well, they're gonna do.
Well,
The, w-
that's what Elon's trying to do.
so no, there's a company already doing it. I don't know what the company's name is, but it's not necessarily to the point of being close to the moon or anything like that, but leaving the atmosphere. So like there's a gap between where you could see space and Earth, and you're still like close enough to where it's not super dangerous, right? You're like right in the middle. And so a company is now doing this thing where you could Apparently, it's gonna cost the same amount as like buying a house, like $200,000 or something.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, so it's gonna be for like super rich people.
But I'm pretty sure that'll start dropping, right?
Yeah, eventually, right? With as time proceeds, but so they're gonna start charging that, and they're gonna send you on it's like an astro fucking voyage, I guess, where they send you into the Earth's atmosphere, and you get to see space and Earth, and it's kind of just like they're just gonna do that on the regular now. That's gonna be a new thing that you could buy.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's a thing now, or going to be a thing. They're gonna launch soon, I believe.
That's cool. I would love to do something like that. That'd be, and then skydive all the way down. Like they just,
you'll catch on fire going that
would.
damn fast.
I don't think you'll make it back.
Nah, you gone.
Right, because they'll have to like shoot you for like project you in the direction, right? Because you're kind of like fighting.
Yeah.
The atmosphere.
Yeah.
So they have to shoot you back, and then you're just gonna start tumbling.
I've never been a person that's like, oh, I want to skydive, I want to go to the moon, like none of that shit. Like I would like to be in outer space, right? Like if that was a thing, I just don't want to go through the trouble of like all the anxiety, all the stress, all the 3, 2, like you know what I mean? Nah, like
in a roller coaster.
If you could teleport me out there, I'd be like, I'm down, you know. But I don't want to.
Get out! I'll knock your dumb ass out. By the time you know, you'll be in space.
Yeah, that I'm not a person that likes stress. So yeah, fuck that, fuck all that shit.
Do you like roller coasters? Like, okay, you talked about this, like the roller coaster that goes straight down, the super shot or whatever. Just
the guy
like that one, right?
No. Someone died from that shit. I've never even been on that one, bro.
Really?
No,
bro, you have to, dude.
You've been to Six Flags, right?
Yeah.
I've went to Six Flags and I learned to like it, but I got really motion sick and I felt like shit. Cause I mean, I don't understand how people could go on roller coasters all day. Like I felt like shit, dude. My head was pounding, my stomach was in knots. I felt like throwing up. Like it was unpleasant.
Well, some people have different tolerances to it. And then there's also conditioning involved on it too. So if like you do it often, you know, that's a thing. Yeah, but I used to love it when I was younger.
But it can't be good for you though, right?
Oh, definitely not, right? Like I don't think so.
Like your organs are like fucking boom. Like there's no way that's like good for you. I wonder if there's studies that they've done about like long-term roller coaster consequences,
effects?
right? Yeah. I wonder if there's any.
Imagine what if they came back and say like
brain damage has to be one, right? Brain damage. Like
what if it comes back and it's like, oh yeah, it's actually very beneficial for the body if you do it once a year.
Imagine if they were like, oh, like it's shown to grow men's penises. Can you believe that shit? You're gonna see every dude fucking on the damn roller coaster. Six Flags is gonna be bugged. Nothing but dudes up in that bitch trying to grow their cocks.
Oh man, no, but I used to be really into roller coasters when I was younger, but now it's like whatever. Like it's more for like the kids and stuff like that. I don't even think I can.
Really?
I don't think I'd be able to tolerate it as much anymore either.
When I went to Six Flags, it was nothing but adults. Like a few kids here and there, but it was mostly adults because I think kids like the more chill, laid back roller coasters, like the fun ones. But Six Flags has some shit that like tosses you around and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I guess young spirited people, right? I've always been like the mature one for my age. Everybody's told me that. So like Halloween, I stopped when I was like 8 or something like that. Like fireworks, I stopped popping fireworks like when I was super young too. I was like, oh no, I've always been that's like, oh that's for the kids, right? So I would always look at the parents and I would be like, why aren't they popping fireworks? Why aren't they?
Wait, so when did you stop playing video games?
I still play the damn video game.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, bro. That's honestly, I've been thinking about that. a lot because it's literally a time waster. Like that's my time waster. I was thinking about that. I was like, man, because yesterday I really wanted to edit clips for the podcast. Ended up playing video games, so I only edited one clip. So I was like thinking back, I was like, man, I played for 3 hours. I probably could have edited like 4 clips in that time. I wasted my time. And then I started thinking, I was like, well, everybody kind of has like a pastime. I could really be a person that could be going out drinking, or playing golf or playing basketball. Like video games, I'm home, I'm chilling out, I'm not doing much, I'm just enjoying myself. Now, that's not to justify me not being disciplined, because at the end of the day, I set out to do something and I didn't do it. But I was thinking, like, every guy and every girl too, right? They all have their like thing that just kind of like relaxes them. Right. And I feel like gaming, that's me for gaming.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I see that, right? Like video games is a waste of time for me as well. I see that. But I don't regret it at all because there's, for me at least, right? Like I could think back to times in my life where I spent hours and hours on video games, and I don't regret that at all. Like this was some of the best times I've ever had. Some of the coolest people I've ever met too. Like I met you through wasting time, right? Yeah. So I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, it's super interesting because, like, you're right. Like sometimes I think back, it's like, okay, so like let's talk about us. Like we've been playing video games every Tuesday for like the past couple of months. We just got back into it, right? Yeah. And so I've been thinking about that time. Like, do I remember every single hour that we played? I was like, no. So it kind of makes me regret the time spent on it. But you're totally right. Now that I think back on it, it's like there's like these highlight moments that I can picture in my head where I met people and I've shared experiences. I've made videos on that. And those things would not be possible if I didn't spend all those hours.
Yeah.
Right?
Or just even moments of where like you achieve something in this game that you've been trying to do for the longest, right? Like
a trick shot.
The trick shot or a certain camo you wanted, or like the happiness that brought you. Like I feel like you and I don't have that anymore in video games, at least. But we still have fun. The funny thing is that after we finish recording this right now, we're gonna hop on Fortnite and we're gonna play for probably like at least 5 hours, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
because it's Tuesday, and on Tuesdays is like our day to play.
I enjoy our Tuesdays, bro. I enjoy talking to you we talk for a lot on Tuesdays.
Oh yeah,
which is interesting enough. But I was thinking about that too. It's like it's kind of funny how men, in particular, we get caught in these time wasters. Like we're so like simple in comparison to females. Females, like I guess their time waster would be watching sitcoms and all those like chick flicks and stuff like that. But I feel like that's more valuable than what we do. We get caught in these super repetitive things. Like for us, it's video games. Look at Fortnite. We die, launch right back into a game and do the same thing. We land at the same place. And we're like, what are we doing for 5 hours? The same thing. We, like, let's say my thing is basketball. I show up to the same park, play with the same guys. I lose or I win, whatever it is, run it back. Guys do this for some reason. And it's like, oh, we're just trying to get better. Or I don't know. What is it?
No, there's something about us is always like one more, last one. Like there's always that itch for more. Like we can't just play one match of Fortnite. We have to play multiple. We can't just shoot one basketball. Like we have to shoot more. Until we make a certain amount, or I don't know. It's some weird thing that we have built into us that's like is super addicted to. That feeling that we get from the first throw of the ball, the first kill of the game, like it's,
for sure. But what I find that's common throughout all these time wasters, or I would say, I don't know, extracurricular activities that we do, is there has to be competitiveness revolved around it. Like you have to have an opposing team, you have to have an enemy, you have to have something that someone you're trying to beat out. If you don't have that, men typically don't really care about it.
Yeah, I know. So For instance, Fortnite, or sorry, not Fortnite, Minecraft. I try to get you into Minecraft, but you see it as a game that wouldn't interest you because there's not really a particular opponent. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
really opposing you other than the fact that you just gotta make a life for yourself, and you hate games like that. And I understand it, right? But it's a fun game. You should try it.
Maybe not.
That's a no. You ain't trying that shit.
Yeah. A goal of mine, a recent goal of mine is to write 3 books.
Why 3?
They're going to be child books, so they're going to be relatively, easier to write. But I'm writing them for my future child, so I have three ideologies that I want to tackle that I think are important for children to have. I won't talk about it on this podcast until I cover it on mine. But my plan is to write close to 100 pages and then condense that to about 20 pages and just encapsulate the true message of what I'm trying to get across, and then make it digestible for kids. But that's my goal, bro.
So you want to write 100 pages and then condense it to 20, and would that be? That would be one book, right?
That would be one book.
20 book or 20 page book.
Yeah.
And you wanted to have you wanted to be like a thing that a kid could digest, but you wanted to have a strong meaning behind it, like
exactly, like a subconscious meaning.
That's cool. I don't want to write a fucking book. I don't know. Maybe a kid's book, right? Like that sounds easy. That sounds manageable. Like the Cookie Monster, fucking walk down the street.
Yeah, well, since I'm having a kid soon, I've been reading a lot of child books, bro. Like a lot of them, and they're so simple, but they have deep. They have such deep meaning. Like, well, first of all, for those of y'all that don't know, which the listeners don't know, 'cause I'm pretty sure our listeners here on this podcast are probably pretty young, right? I would say maybe our age, a little bit younger.
Our age, yeah, we're a little bit younger for sure.
If you go go to like a library or go to like a Target or whatever and look at the kid books and just read the titles, some of them are crazy. I saw one of them was Good Night Racism. And then Playing is for
these are books for kids?
For kids. It was a 15-page book, animated, everything, like crazy. And the essence of the book was, you shouldn't be racist.
Yeah.
And there's another one that says we all play together. And like I read through that one, and I think like on the 8th page, it was 2 girls holding hands with rainbow colored socks.
What the fuck? I don't understand why. What's the need to push these agendas on super young people?
Because bro, that's the only way to do it. It's so powerful. Like I'm telling you, the people that are so tyrannical that want to change or want other people to think the way they do. Yeah, they attack the children, bro. They do, and that's the best way to do it.
So you kind of want to combat that, right? With your own ideas. That's smart.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
That's smart. But who knows? Maybe your book will fucking blow up, right? And it'll be like this huge.
Right, dude. My cousin was telling me about that. I was just like, I mean, maybe, but that's
maybe you'll be the new Dr. Seuss.
Jeez.
Except you're not a doctor.
Purple eggs and ham.
Yeah. That's
and
a good
spam?
One. Spam out of a can. Nah, but hey, when you write your book though, you have to let me know so I could read it. I want to read it.
That's fine. Yeah. What my plan is, so there's this publishing company that will animate your book. So you write your book and you tell them the.
Do you have an idea for your first book or no?
I have 3 different ideas. I haven't really.
You don't want to give those away or what?
I don't want to give those away yet because I need to perfect them in a way where it's hard, bro, because I feel like for me it'd be a lot easier if I just wrote it all in like 100 pages. But to be able to like simplify them is so hard for me in particular because I like to speak about it in depth and different, there's so many aspects that it's hard for me to just symbolize these things. But
that's cool, man.
okay, so I'll say one of them. So I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but one of them I want to talk about is manage your sufferings before your sufferings manage you. Right. So that's like my biggest thing. Like if I can give any advice to anybody, would be manage your sufferings before suffering manages you. So how would you make that simpler? And real quick would be instant gratification usually doesn't work out. If you're disciplined in your actions now, you'll be able to reap the benefits of those later, right? But how do you make that into a kid book? So that's my goal.
That's a cool goal, man. That kind of makes me want to have a goal that is out of my wheelhouse because I would if you would have told me like that you wanted to write a book, I would have been like, what the fuck are you talking about, right? I need to start setting goals for myself in that sense that like something I wouldn't think I would do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Make a rap song.
I don't want to write a book, but I've been thinking about starting to make YouTube videos again, but just posting like video game YouTube videos, right? Like posting a good game that we have or something like that. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll upload one gameplay a week or something. Maybe I'll get back into that. Who knows? We'll see.
I think you would be great at making small clips of reacting to videos. I want to do that. I think
you're gonna have a reaction channel, no? So you're going to do that.
I'm just too lazy, bro. I need to get on it, dude.
At least you're honest with yourself. A lot of people would be like, "Well, I'm just too busy," but the reality is you're too lazy, and at least you come to terms with that, right? Because a lot of people like to be around the bush with themselves. They like to baby themselves and say, "Well, I can't because of this," but you know the truth.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I want to have this guy on the podcast. He asked to be on the podcast, and I'm following him on Twitter, and he is so subscribed to victimhood. He tweeted out, bro, oh my God, like crazy ass tweet. He said, "We have inherited the ashes of our ancestors, and we are expected to be grateful for that." Think about what that means, bro. What he's basically saying is that he's not successful because of the people that have come before him. He takes no ownership for his failures. Like, that's so pathetic in my eyes, dude. Like, it's crazy because I agreed for him to be on the podcast, and he tweeted that literally the next day, and I was like, damn. It made me want to have him on the podcast more because I started to go through his tweets, and all of his tweets resemble this type of ideology where he's a victim in this world that has these, in his eyes, appalling doctrines that don't shape his life. And therefore, it's unfair. Like, it's unfair for me because the world set these standards on me that I can't accomplish. Like, dude, it's so interesting, and I want to have him on the podcast. But yeah.
Dude, so he agreed to go on or what?
Yeah, so he saw the two conversations that I'm having on my podcast soon, which is the demonization of having children, and then why men express their emotions, or why men hide their emotions, rather. And he's like, bro, I got to be on one of these. And I'm like, okay. I already have guests for them, but I'm down to have you. We can
work something out.
Yeah, we can work something out. We can talk about one of these topics, whichever one you want. Again, like I can have that back on my podcast, or we can talk about something else. And then, I saw his tweets and I was like, dude, I got to have this guy on because I feel like for the most part, I have a lot of people on the podcast that I kind of see eye to eye with. And I feel like with him, it's going to be good to bounce back. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what I like the most. And I think a lot of people like the most is conflict, is when you combat each other, because it's so interesting. And rather than just, back and forth, agreeing. I told you this, and I think it's because people crave conflict. Like it's the most entertaining thing to witness, so I'm excited for that. We'll keep you guys updated when that podcast happens. I hope it does. But with that being said, we're 34 minutes in, and I think we're gonna have to call it right here. Keep it nice and short and sweet. I'll
show you something short and sweet. Oh, my camera just went out. Perfect time. Perfect time.
Perfect timing. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, his camera's gone. As you see his frozen ass. Make sure you guys check out his YouTube channel. It's going to be in the description at The Common Podcast. We upload a episode on this channel, The Outlier Podcast, every Saturday at 11 a.m. Make sure you guys turn on the post notifications for that. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Comment the Would You Rather for next week, and we'll mention it in next week's podcast. And yeah, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.